I just met my man, Connor. I noticed that you are in some rental shoes. Hey, what do you think of the rental shoes?
I think they're all right, but I definitely feel like if I got some shoes, I'd be able to like stay on things better.
Heck yeah, how long have you been climbing for?
Like 3 months.
Sweet. I don't know how big of an improvement these are going to be, but these are our Temu shoes, and they're yours, man.
Dude, appreciate you, bro.
Of course.
Gotta go crazy in the Temu.
All right, peace out. Nice to meet you. I'm Josh, and
I'm Caleb.
welcome to Suck It Slab. In front of us is a smorgasbord of shoes.
Delicious.
Very smelly, actually, because all of them have been used.
Jesus Christ.
These two shoes over here are over $200, but these shoes are $30. These are Temu climbing shoes, and we are going to compare these with some rental shoes and say, is it worth it to purchase $30 pair of shoes or get some rental shoes?
Let's do it.
You want to see what's in here?
Yes. All right. Okay, so these are straight from Temu. You cover up. Oh, you already did that. So you're smart. Straight from Temu. We're going to see what these look like when we open these. Wait, what's your guess? Do you think they're going to look exactly like?
I don't know. Like genuinely, I purchased two of these, different sizes.
That's kind of the mystery of Temu, right?
It is the mystery of Temu.
Does this help?
Ooh, ASMR.
Oh my God, they smell so bad. They smell like chemicals, straight up chemicals, the whole bag.
Actually?
Yes.
Oh.
Anyway, I'll hurry. Sorry. Look at those.
They're different colors. You can't make this up. These are different colors. These are clearly, what is that, Scarpa knockoffs? The Dragos.
Yeah.
McKenna wears the Dragos. These are the other color of the Dragos. That's hilarious. Look at that.
Yeah, the patterns are all the exact same.
So I know that there's some different thoughts about the moral aspect of purchasing from Temu. So I looked up the manufacturer, and I'm going to try to pronounce this as well as possible. I'm so sorry. This is this is going to be bad. Xinjiang Shishidian Hexichang, and that is the manufacturer of these shoes. And upon some further investigation, that particular shoe manufacturer in China does the majority of these knockoff shoes. I looked at some different options for different styles of these Temu climbing shoes, and all of them were made from this particular manufacturer. Now, I don't know about their practices, like their worker practices or anything like that, so I can't speak on that, but I can say likelihood of you purchasing a shoe on Temu or some other knockoff website, it's probably gonna come from this manufacturer or one like it. Also, this video is brought to you by Beta Break. Tell us about that.
Oh my gosh, Beta Break. It's so fun. It's a card game that you play at the bouldering gym. You choose a problem, you draw some cards, and you do what the cards tell you to do, and you try to look good doing it, and you will. It's so fun, it's so fun.
It is really fun. We've done it, we made a video on it. Link to Beta Break is in the description.
Play it. I'm incredibly worried that these shoes are so big, because your feet are definitely bigger than mine.
You just said 46.5.
That's what my shoes are. Look, I'm gonna get them here. I just want you guys to know that these are the shoes I wear. 46.5, right?
Mm-hmm. Also, allegedly, these are the same size. These are the ones that I normally wear.
Actually, okay, wait. They're not terribly different.
These ones are very different.
That's crazy. And yours are the same size too?
Yes. The ones in here, these say, they don't say. I'm pretty sure they're 44s.
Oh, that's what they do. They just don't tell you.
I don't think they tell you.
That's smart.
All right, well, let's throw these on and let's just climb something in them and give some initial impressions.
Yeah, I can't wait.
What is your philosophy on how a climbing shoe should fit?
So I think unless you're an Olympic level pro athlete, you should probably go comfort over performance. A lot of people will say, get the smaller shoes. You want them to be pretty uncomfortable so that your toes and everything are closer to the wall and all this kind of stuff, which is probably very true for most people. For me, I go comfort above everything else because if my shoes are uncomfortable, I'm gonna fear falling off the wall, because that's what hurts, is when you land. That's when your shoes really hurt.
I'm really not wanting to do this toe here.
Watch this. I'm gonna stand underneath him because I have faith.
Oh my God. I don't know if you should do that.
Don't
I don't know if you should do that.
And if I'm not willing to fall, then I'm probably not gonna be willing to climb very hard. And so I just go comfort above everything else. And if that means I don't one day become an Olympic athlete, oh well.
Oh well. See, the message that was always told to me when I was first starting out climbing was like, you gotta downsize.
Right.
All the climbers were saying that. And so when I first bought my pair of shoes, I think I downsized two sizes.
Yeah.
And being a new climber, I put them on, it took a lot of effort to put them on. I was like, this is terrible, it's awful. It was almost a barrier of getting into climbing.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
That's
I actually
probably a good philosophy.
upsized. My street shoes are 10 and a half. These are 12 and a half. So I upsized 2 sizes, and I don't know that's really that helpful. Oh my God. I was gonna say Velcro, but I'm sure this is hook and loop fastener. That's probably.
Hook and loop fastener.
Yeah.
Also, this is some kind of fabric that they put on the top. It is not rubber.
Oh my God, it's
but
actively slick.
It's made to imitate like the knockoffs, the Dragos.
Yeah.
These are what they're supposed to be. So I think those are supposed to be the normal Dragos. These are supposed to imitate the Drago LVs. And when you put your foot in it, these are like aggressive, like they're making my toes point down. Also, I've been wearing these shoes for about 2 weeks now. Not every single day, but a number of climbing sessions. And so I'll talk about how they're holding up and some of my thoughts later on. But we're just gonna get some initial impressions from Caleb.
Wow.
Once you throw those in. Are you a sock? You're a sock and shoe guy?
I am now. You want to hear my theory on that too?
Yes.
Gosh. Okay. Okay. I feel like I do need to defend myself. I used to be very anti-sock because why would you wear socks? Cool people don't wear socks when they climb. See? But I had a friend that I climb with a lot. He wears socks, and I always made fun of him for it. And I thought I was being very cool and hip to point out the nerd wearing socks. Then one day, on a whim, I decided to commiserate with him. Be like, you know what? I'm being mean. Let me see what this is all about. And I'll tell you what, it's freaking amazing. Okay? It makes your shoes fit tighter because you're just less. It's snug. Incredibly worried that these shoes are so big.
You just said 46 and a half.
That's what my shoes are. Look. Snugness doesn't hurt because you got some padding. Your shoes don't stink afterwards because you're wearing socks to absorb all the moisture, and they're just overall more comfortable. Dude, and also, you're not an Olympic athlete. so back to that point.
If you are, comment in the description and tell us who you are.
Yeah, try socks, Olympic athletes, and
Also,
maybe you'll be.
the other thing, we're in the Midwest, and like last week it was 70 degrees, and then the next day it was blizzard. Like I'm not making this up. It was a blizzard the next day, and now it's back to 70 degrees. So when it is blizzard-like conditions, I know we're all hopping in our Subarus and driving to the climbing gym, but it's cold.
Yeah.
And your climbing shoes are nasty and cold, and so throwing in some socks might warm them up a little.
That is point number 4. All
I
right.
prefer the blow dryer technique. This is the only way to warm them up.
Not all of us can afford fancy blow dryers.
True.
I will say, initial impressions, I'm actually really impressed by the fact that they're more slippers than, like, I kind of like the idea of a slipper climbing shoe. Like this, I feel like isn't really doing much. This looks almost like more like, I don't know, it's not really doing much, but because this part here doesn't overlap. So it's like one piece there. So it really is like a slipper. And I'm really intrigued by the idea of climbing shoes, slipper climbing shoes.
Yeah.
I always feel like they won't end up working because they'll slip off.
Yeah.
But I'm excited for that, and they feel very comfortable.
In comparison, this is what many other climbing shoes look like.
Yeah.
They just open up like this, like some other shoes. And then of course this one's like a neoprene sock, almost like a water shoe. Mm-hmm. And I know a lot of expensive climbing shoes do more of this style rather than this style. But there are still expensive climbing shoes that do this style too, just a matter of preference.
The rubber is also extremely sticky feeling, which to me is a good thing, but it also generally means,
This is the rental.
oh yeah, that's feels, I don't know if it feels slicker or just not as soft. This is incredibly soft as well, which could be a problem.
Yeah, and these are pretty new rental shoes. I mean, this climbing gym is very new. And these are quite a large size. Not very many people are getting the 46 and a halves. It's not, a lot of people do hear that message of downsize, downsize, downsize.
I also have just gross, long, gnarly toes, so that's probably why I have to get bigger shoes. All right, let's put these on. Let's see what this is like. Oh yeah, my toe is definitely up there.
They're such a weird fit because they look massive, and you throw them on, and you're like, this kind of fits actually.
Yeah, it's actually, my toe is definitely jammed up to the edge.
And you might notice this later. There's just so much material, rubber material, on the shoe that's just why it looks so bulky.
I will say too, the heel box, very rigid and stiff and wide, as opposed to like these are a little bit more flexible usually. I wonder if that's going to end up being a good thing, a bad thing, or I won't know enough to.
There's some toe down curl. That's so wild.
So far, I'm actually kind of impressed by it, to be honest.
It's odd. Again, $30 plus or minus $5-10. I think those ones were these pair of shoes I paid $30 for with free shipping, which was great. I've seen other similar styles of shoe from the same manufacturer on Temu for anywhere from $30 to $50. So my advice is probably just get the cheapest one since they're all made in the same factory. Just might as well be cost efficient. And again, I don't know if it's like a sweatshop or anything like that, not to stereotype or anything. I just know some big name.
If you're getting something for this cheap that has to be shipped overseas, there's concessions being made, let's say.
Yeah.
I will say the heel does seem to slip off pretty easily. So this is the one thing I'm probably going to, maybe just for me. Maybe it's because of the socks are. Maybe I should not wear socks.
No, it's definitely.
You know what? These are so comfortable.
No, gross.
I know.
The dogs are out.
Does that like Velcro do nothing virtually?
I don't think it really does much. I wasn't lying about those toes. Look how long those are. I know, it's pretty gross.
It's a foot. It's okay.
Hey, there's someone out there. You're welcome.
One bit of TMI that is kind of goofy. Since I've been wearing these shoes, my big toe nail has been like pulled up from it just because of how it fits. I know it's really weird, but specifically these shoes for some reason. And yes, I trim my toenails. They are short. So it's not that, it's just
I feel like what you did just now is you jumped on this grenade that I set for myself, where I was like, my toes are long and gross, and you're like, hey, I gotcha. My toes also suffer.
All right, let's go find a climb.
All right.
Probably something easy.
Yeah.
We don't talk about grades because, inevitably it's a VB, V0 in your gym. So this easier in appearance boulder, let's try it. Dink.
Wow, it's incredible.
I know, incredible skill. Olympic level, right?
I think so.
Maybe I should downsize.
That explains the no socks.
Yeah.
So as I'm
just walking around with.
They're not quite as tight as they originally felt when I was down there, even accounting for the no more socks. So I am a little, I don't know. Hopefully the grip is going to be so great that that'll just overcome any other potential downsides.
You just said 46 and a half.
That's what my shoes are. Let's see. Hopefully
Ladies and gentlemen.
I haven't warmed up yet, so okay.
Ooh, look at that style, the finesse. Oh, to the sloper.
That's the sound of me.
That would have been funny if you just fell.
I kind of felt like I was
Olympic
going to.
style.
Look at that. Look at that.
Oh yeah, smear. Oh yeah, how does it do? Smear the wall. See what's going on.
How far down can I go? About here, and then they start slipping. That's what, 45 degrees?
Sure.
From.
Yeah. 43 and a half.
43 and a half? Yeah. Sounds about right. I was gonna say that, but I wanted to give you the opportunity to say it. So
these are incredibly textured walls, so it's quite easy to smear on them.
Yeah.
Which is nice. I know some other walls are made out of wood or untextured, so these walls are great. Initial impressions, what do you got?
Well, considering this climb was basically all big fat jugs, I wasn't able to really put the shoes to the test so much, except on the smearing portion. Considering how soft and grippy I felt the rubber was down there, I actually expected my feet to be able to go maybe a little, like less than or more than 45 degrees, whatever I expected to be able to smear further down than I was. But honestly, not too bad.
Yeah. You try something on slab? Still in the easier beginner?
I kind of walked myself into that one, didn't I? All right.
To the slab! Look at them dogs. Look at them dogs. Oh.
Ooh, ah, ooh, ah, ah, and oh god,
Who looks better? Who looks better? Who looks better? Black and white or black and yellow and red? Look at this. Look at the calf muscle.
I think I got one of those. Nope, I don't.
Go get it, boss.
I'm on it.
I know we did say slab, but this is
close.
It's close enough.
Well, it's actually the opposite, but the holes are small. That still works.
Holes are small, and you're gonna require some more friction. Yeah. More trusting feet.
Kick way out.
Yeah. True. Ooh. It's a V10 at my gym.
Yeah, I didn't even read it. I probably should have done that, huh?
This particular gym does question mark tags, which I absolutely love, because maybe this is, a V2 or something.
It's not, okay?
Maybe this is a V4 and I'm a V3 climber. Again, I don't know if it's actually a V4 or not, because there's a question mark tag. But let's just say that it's a V4 and I'm a V3 climber. I might be interested in climbing it, because sometimes climbing grades are intimidating.
I'm really not wanting to do this toe here.
Watch this, I'm gonna stand underneath him because I have faith.
Oh my God. I don't know if you should do that.
Don't
I don't know if you should do that. Oh my God.
Ah, yes, and then jugs.
Okay.
That's great.
That was.
You made that look really hard, dude.
I know it's not supposed to be that hard.
You made it look like a V4.
If I had my other shoes on, okay, I am starting to see one of the problems with. I don't know if it's the size of the shoe.
That's what my shoes are.
Or if it's. Yeah, I was. Here, let me get back up there so you can see that.
Let me get up to this very scary position.
So basically, this, but up there. This would normally be something super simple, but I don't know, it feels extremely flexible, and I was not willing to commit to that. I bet if I had been climbing with the shoes for a while though, and I was more comfortable with them, that wouldn't be nearly as scary, but.
Do you want to throw on the rentals and just compare?
Yeah.
It's weird because the shoe rubber is hard, but it's not stiff at all, which is such an odd combo. Normally, climbing shoes are either stiff rubber, not very bendy, or it's a soft rubber. The Dragos that these are knockoffs of are pretty soft rubber. And we did a shoe review on them, and I absolutely loved them. Volume.
Oh.
What I will say is, I've been climbing in these for 2 weeks now, have had a little bit of experience in testing the boundaries of these shoes, of what they can do and what they can't do. And so I do have probably a little bit more confidence in these shoes than Caleb does. So that V4 problem, I made it look a little easier. Oh no, back to the socks.
Well, rental shoes, I want to respect the.
Yeah, no, true.
Yeah.
They do spray them with, well, I don't know what it is. It might be Lysol or something, which theoretically kills 99.99% of germs.
I've heard that. Yeah, somewhere in the marketing, I think. All right. Yeah, these feel. I need to get smaller shoes, man.
These look like,
maybe it's just Evolves. Maybe Evolves have weird sizes, but Evolves definitely are very snug, and I'm wearing 46 and a half. These feel like boots. So I think Evolve is the problem, not. I love Evolve shoes though.
My Evolves are way different size too.
That must be it.
I'm in the Phantoms. I love those shoes. They fit really well.
I think I must have Shamans then. That's probably what I have then, because I know
really
it's the
comfy.
different. Yeah, I love them a lot. But yeah, I'm starting to learn that I'm actually kind of scared to climb this low-grade problem. Okay. Yeah.
It's a V10 and you're 6'3".
This is so dumb. I don't know. It's just so floppy.
Is it worse? Is it worse than?
Different size shoe.
It's worse only because the sizes are different themselves. I think the shoe quality itself are probably very similar.
Here, these are different size. This is just a reminder that different shoes fit different.
And different companies.
Which sounds really dumb. Like, that's just a plain statement. Different shoes fit different. But you would think that there would be some kind of universal size. Like if I try a 43 on in one pair of shoes, it should fit in a different pair of shoes, but that's just not the case. I have two go-to climbing shoes that I wear right now. One is my Evolve Phantoms. Those are just my try-hard shoes. When I want to climb something hard, I hop on those. But I'm also in a pair of Scarpas, and the Scarpas are 2 sizes smaller than my Evolves, which is crazy, and they both fit pretty similar.
That's so nuts. Even these ones, a full size down, still feel like slippers. This is insane. Okay. Maybe
All right. I'm scared for you, man.
You should be.
Oh yeah.
Do you like the sound of the big thunks against the wall? Kukunk. That's, I don't want it. Okay, what I'm definitely gonna do is put on my regular shoes after this so you can see that.
Got to get the regular shoes to prove to the world that you don't suck.
Yeah.
Because right now you look like you're struggling, man.
I am super struggling.
Which it is funny because moves like that are more pressing, whereas a lot of other climbing moves are pulling, so there is a little bit of...
Yeah, and this is in this gym, this is actually my favorite feature. I love this dihedral, so I'm always on it. The feature itself I'm very comfortable with. That was weird, man.
These are Caleb's go-to shoes, and you just had them resold.
Yeah.
Shout out to Evolve. They look fantastic. Resole, good job.
Yes, my favorite shoes in the world. These are the first shoes I found that I felt were actually worth getting resold. Usually when my shoes wear out and get holes in them, I'm like, I'll just find a different brand, but I love these, so.
While you're throwing those on, I'm gonna hop on this yellow one. This is more like beginner, intermediate, but the feet are much more minimal. Still good feet. Like if I were to wear my normal climbing shoes, I wouldn't bat an eye at them. But in these particular shoes, I am batting lots of eyes. All right, let's just do it. In this particular gym, all the volumes are on for any given boulder, just FYI. Oh gosh.
Nice.
Oh no.
Nice.
You know, I don't know if I controlled the finish very well, but that was really scary. I was putting, I don't know, 20% of the pressure on my feet, whereas normally I'd put 90% of the pressure on my feet because the rubber, like I said, it's super flimsy, but it's like a stiff rubber, and it's scary.
Okay. Vindication, and then I'll go back to those Temus.
The Temus. Also, I've been wearing these for, what, like 10 minutes, and my feet are moist.
Yeah, they don't seem to breathe very well.
Oh, gross. In my big toe. I probably shouldn't show this on video, right? Look at that. It's like bending up.
That's gross.
I know.
No offense, but you're the most disgusting person I've ever met.
Because I have feet and toenails, just like you.
Yeah? Oh, yeah.
Now here's where I fall.
That would be so funny. I don't know if it's picking this up in camera, but your footwork looks more precise with these, and it looks like you're putting way more pressure on the feet than in the Temus.
It's like it's like a comfortable hug. It could all be mental. I'm willing to entertain that, but if not, it feels like a very distinct difference between these and the rental or the Temu shoes. Whereas I think the rental and the Temu shoes felt very similar, comparable, I would say. So yeah.
Tell me about the difference between the rentals and Temu, if anything.
I think the rubber definitely does feel different. Like these having a little bit, these have no, like if you look at, and this is probably only noticeable because these are newer, but you'll notice how sharp the edge is on the Temu shoes and how rounded the edges are here. That actually becomes pretty important when you're working on smaller footholds, especially smaller footholds that you want to use your toe on, and you can't just sort of, you know, if you imagine a toe hold here, sometimes you can sort of press down and kind of semi-smear, and then the rubber itself will form just enough around the toe hold to keep yourself on there and feel confident. Or you can have a sharper angle that allows you to sort of not have to press as hard. The softness of this rubber paired with this actually makes this seem theoretically like it should be really good on small footholds, foot chips. But yeah, in direct comparison, I do favor these right so far after, I would say maybe barely a climb. I feel good about these ones.
I think part of the reason why I wanted to make this video is when I was first starting out in climbing, rental shoes, they're like $5 per climbing session, depending on where you go. Most gyms have them for around that price. And if you go 6 times in rentals, you could just purchase a pair of climbing shoes yourself.
Yeah.
For $30.
I will say in defense of the rental shoes too, we also have to look at what the use case is for them. Rental shoes are meant to be durable above all else. And a lot of times rental shoes are still made by reputable companies. Like I know there's a gym in town that has like, I've actually seen that they have Evolve rental shoes. So they're rental shoes, but they're made by Evolve, so good reputable companies, but they're meant for durability. They're not really meant for precision. Beginners are learning the basics, and they don't necessarily need to know or to understand the nuances of different shoe types. All they need is something that they can use to, you know, hygienically and safely stand on the holds without like, you know, bringing their street shoes in. That's what they're for, is durability. So it's a bit unfair to compare them, but when we're dealing with cost, as you were saying, if you're a beginner climber and you know this is something you're gonna wanna do for a while, it might be worth checking out some of these shoes. Although there are also non-Temu shoes that are still very affordable as well, so which is probably worth touching on.
And my favorite climbing shoe of all time is the Tarantula.
Yeah.
For the price, you can get them for 70, 80 bucks, super cheap for a climbing shoe. Like I said, those shoes on your feet were like 180 bucks, approaching $200. For half that, you can get an amazing pair of shoes that
and that's what I wore for 8 months when climbing, was some Tarantulas, so yeah.
But if you're climbing 8 months in rental shoes, then maybe these would be a good option for you. At what point do you think you should stop wearing rental shoes and get into something different?
I think as soon as you, as soon as climbing becomes your personality, like basically, as soon as you start thinking about it outside of the gym and you like are really like excited about it, follow that passion. Like don't squash passion, like follow it. I'm a firm believer in that. So anything that's gonna help you continue in that momentum, do it. If that means buying climbing pants, if that means buying nice, cool chalk that you get advertised to on Instagram all the time, do it. Shoes are usually the first thing that people will think of though, because that's generally the thing that like, you're forced, you have to wear shoes. You don't have to use chalk, but you have to use shoes, and the shoes available are rentals. So it's like, well, this will be sort of a sign of me becoming a real climber is if I get new shoes. So honestly, just as soon as you're like, I would say to summarize, because I talk a lot, to summarize, don't worry about the performance as a marker for when you need to get new shoes. Only worry about, am I gonna climb a lot? Am I a climber? Do I wanna do this a lot? Then buy the shoes. It's gonna help keep you motivated to keep doing that.
There are other options that are not Temu climbing shoes. My first pair of shoes I got at a place called Mountain Equipment Recyclery. The shoes are actually sitting over there on that counter. I've had them for over a decade now. It's just old pair of shoes, and they were 10 bucks or something, and I just picked them up, threw them on. They didn't fit quite right, but they fit better than these, and they were 10 bucks. Yeah. And so if you have an option like that, even Recreational Equipment Incorporated, REI, they have like a little garage sale section with returns. And if you're into that, you can get a really nice pair of climbing shoes for a fraction of the cost that are not shipped from China. I don't know about the reputability of these particular climbing shoes, whereas with the shoes that you do purchase from REI, you do know the reputability of that particular climbing brand.
And I guess to summarize my point too about like what's probably sounded a bit like sort of commercialized focused, like get something that, you know, just buy stuff to feel good about climbing. There is something from a psychological standpoint about like ownership of something. Ownership allows you to be more attached to it and allows you to be more motivated to participate in whatever that thing is related to. So like, it's the same reason people might say, why do you need to have a gym in your garage when you have a gym 2 miles down the road that you can walk to? There's something about ownership that says, this is me, this is who I am, this is part of my personality. And it's just a good feeling. So yeah, if anything, just buy to feel good.
I don't know if we're supporting consumerism.
Yeah, I know.
Not what we're trying to communicate. We're just saying that if you're passionate about something, then consumerism.
Anything, buy anything, I don't care.
I would love for you to try out like a bicycle or like a heel hook.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Toe hooks, heel hooks. Oh my.
Boom, toe hook on those two. And then the next move after that, I think, is I fall to the ground here-ish. I think I read that right.
This is definitely a tough climb because anything in the cave is hard.
Yeah.
It's just like slab. Anything on slab is hard.
Whoa.
That was legit. Yeah. What?
I don't know about. I slipped right off.
And you've done this boulder before, right?
I have done all the way up to, I've gotten those holds, and then I haven't done the final couple moves, but those toes I can usually do no problem. So there's definitely a difference with toe hooks on these. And I know I mentioned it earlier, and I think it's playing true, that the pattern here that's supposed to look like the Dragos that's not rubber, that's plastic. That's just straight up slippery seatbelt plastic. So
It's terrible.
yeah, it's really bad.
and one of the moves that I love in climbing is toe hooks or bicycles, and it is much more difficult to do that on plastic. It is sticky rubber. All right. It's so bad.
Take two. Oh, there you go.
Oh God. It grabs heels fine. I think.
Oh, nice.
Okay,
A little heel bicycle-y thing there at the end.
that was like 20% more difficult than the shoes. I would say the bicycle was fine because you're able to put some counter pressure on it. And since there is like a little ridge just where my toes are, I can get a little bit of pressure on there if there's counter pressure, but the straight up toe hook was awful. We had to maneuver some beta.
Yeah.
That's a pretty good one. Ideally, what you do is you're in this position, get the toe hook, and since those holds are so good for toe hooks, you can kind of just walk your hands up and then grab those almost like a pseudo bat hang kind of thing. But that was not happening in these.
Okay, let me.
Yes.
Nope.
We had mentioned that this video is sponsored by Beta Brake. This would be a terrible one to do Beta Brake on because somebody would eliminate this and then you just dino and there.
That would be awful.
We could do it.
Yeah, of course. I mean, but there's no reason to get it on camera.
Yeah,
I mean, it was
exactly.
so obvious that
It's
it would be doable.
so easy. And on these rentals, honestly, it's about the same amount of rubber. Because like I said, this black part here is not rubber. So the rubber is just here. And it's actually almost identical amount of rubber here. And then there's rubber on the heel, which is great. Oh, oh yeah, like we said, this is useless. You just pull them off. Let's go. rental shoes. We have eliminated this, and we're gonna prove to you that we can do it because Beta Break card game. It's at betabreakcardgame.com, is that right?
That's right.
Betabreakcardgame.com, amazing game, has told us that we must eliminate it. And it's marked by this. It's magnetic, look at this. Look at this. And it just sticks there. If I can do this dyno, you gotta buy Beta Break. Here we go. Oh, let's go. Actually, I use that a lot, that particular hold.
That was incredible. Looks like you gotta buy Beta Break now.
Link in the description below. Okay, so, you know, big dyno and the rentals, obviously. But this particular section you saw me do in these rental shoes, and pretty much just like the Temu shoes, no toe hooks to be had. Well, they were, but it was difficult. Heel hooks, it felt the same. I mean, those holds are huge jugs, so you just put your heel in there and you're good to go. I'd say super comparable as far as some of this technique goes between Temu and rental shoes. Don't forget to drop a like and subscribe to It's Like a Slab and
Caleb J. Ross.
The unison was kind of spicy.
I'm out of breath. What do you?
I'm out of breath. What do you want from me?
To be fair, he sent that like 40 other times when it wasn't being recorded, so like he should be out of breath. It'd be weird if he wasn't, guys. Come on, give him a break. All right, I'm gonna try this red 3/4 here on slab. I don't like slab. His channel's called Like a Slab, but I'm the one who likes a slab. And I have one shoe of each. I have my Temus and my Giant rentals. These are the original Giant rentals. Let's see if this is even doable. And I have not sent this problem at all, so this will be my first go at it.
The rentals kind of look like boat shoes, Sperry's or something.
Oh yeah, I feel like I should be playing pickleball on the beach. Is that what they do in boat shoes?
I think they go on boats.
That explains the name. Okay, I get it. I'm with you guys now.
I've heard it both ways.
I think it's because they look like boats. This is so scary.
You're like 2 inches off the ground.
I know it, man, but this is...
You'll survive.
I cannot trust my feet on these.
You are putting a lot of pressure on the feet.
What is that?
Oh yeah. That looked scary.
Don't gotta say that when I'm in the middle of it.
That foot looks like it's about to pop.
God damn it, no, don't say that.
Don't waste your flash attempts. Oh yeah. Easy money.
Oh wait, that's the last one. Is that it?
Yeah, that's it.
Oh thank God. That was, see, this is the kind of problem that if I were wearing my regular shoes, I would have actually thoroughly enjoyed that. That was fun.
If you're an adrenaline junkie, then these are the perfect shoes for you.
That's true. Man, I still feel like I'm unfairly blaming the shoe itself rather than the size. I do think that this is a situation where, I've said it a billion times, but if they were a little bit smaller, I think I would feel a little bit better. But there's so much toe rubber on these rental shoes that I can't imagine these lasting. If you get into climbing and you're just starting climbing and slab problems are the problems you feel like you're gonna love, it's probably wise to get out of rental shoes as quickly as possible. I don't think these are really meant for much slab climbing, is my guess. As someone who is great at slab, as you can tell.
Neither are the Temu.
That's right, that's fair.
Like I said, it's what a weird combination of having a hard rubber that is flimsy. I know that sounds like, what, an oxymoron? Is that a thing?
Yeah.
Sounds like an oxymoron, but most of the time when a shoe is not stiff, the rubber is really sticky. And it kind of morphs to your foot and moves with your foot in a natural way. These seem to put some weird pressure points on my foot, and that's after breaking them in. Like I said, I've had these for, I don't know, 3 weeks now, and I've climbed into them multiple sessions. Now would probably be a good time to talk about the durability of these because I've done half a dozen climbing sessions in them. I'm used to more expensive shoes. Every time you smear on the wall, you lose like 30 cents of rubber or something like that. And the durability of the rubber isn't as good because it is very soft rubber. There's so much volume of material on here that if you smear and make some missteps or mishaps and lose some rubber, there's a bunch more rubber to replace it because this is a dense shoe. It's got a lot of stuff on there. But after having them for a few weeks, like they look brand new as far as the rubber goes and as far as the sharpness of the rubber goes. So I think that these are probably similar to the rental shoe rubber in that they're made to just kind of last for a while. And beginners, they smear on the wall. They have very imprecise footwork. So if you purchase a really expensive shoe, then you might lose a lot of rubber by doing that. And so there is some merit to having a shoe like this or like this as you're first starting out, getting to understand footwork and how that works, so that you're not losing a bunch of money on climbing shoes because they are expensive.
My toe is literally right there.
Before I purchased these shoes, I did ask, what's my shoe?
No, this one's fine. It's
Oh,
this.
is it?
It's the rental.
Oh, weird.
The rental is like,
Your toe's like right
Yeah,
here,
my
but
toe
then
is-
you have like half an inch of rubber.
I feel like this one is still pretty good. Like it's about like here-ish. So yeah, there's a little bit of rubber there, but still these ones are like a full like inch and a half of rubber on these ones.
So these fit a little bit more true. Sometimes rentals fit a little bit closer to like your actual
Street shows. I think so, yeah.
All right, what are some final thoughts? Are they worth it?
You know what? I think so. They are much closer to what I would consider a traditional climbing shoe than the rental shoe. So in the spectrum of rental to professional climbing shoe, these definitely operate on, there are a few degrees, like, and we talked about tarantula laces earlier. Maybe those are like halfway, let's say, you know? These are probably just before that in terms of like the grade or the gradation that you want to go. So if you're interested in climbing, like I honestly feel like for what they are, they're not a bad choice.
Yeah, cheapest shoes on the internet, as far as we can find. Worth it? Yeah. If you have $30 more, go buy some tarantula laces or some Momentums or something like that. But if you are a kid working on finding coins underneath seat cushions, then yeah, why not? If it's gonna save you money, then yeah, why not? And if you're fine with them probably being made in a sweatshop, then yeah, probably not a shoe that I'd wanna purchase again because it's not something that I wanna support, which is hilarious for me to say because I bought 2 pairs. But hopefully this will inform more people to maybe find an option that works best for them. If these are it,
Yeah.
if you're fine supporting that, then sure. If not, then go buy some tarantula laces or use some rental shoes. These ones are made by Mad Rock and they're great for beginners. And if you forget your climbing shoes at home. But if you do forget your climbing shoes at home and have to wear rental shoes, expect to be climbing a few grades below what you normally climb, especially on slab.
I got one more point maybe I just thought of for not getting mail order shoes and going to an REI or something like that instead. Because the sizes are so varied, it really helps to be able to try on some shoes first. So and these you can't try on first. So for that reason alone, it might be actually more worth it to get rentals or go to REI or something like that where you can just try on the shoes to make sure they actually fit before you buy them. So
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to drop a like and subscribe. Caleb J. Ross.
Caleb J. Ross.
Stay chalky. I don't always use chalk, but when I do, I prefer black iron gold.